What's up, the squad? Back with another video. Y'all seeing that's how it was going down. Make sure y'all hit the like button, hit that subscribe button for me, please. As y'all can see, I feel like this won't go away. It'll always be around for even after. I feel like after the trial, after everything's said and done, I feel like this is something that definitely is big that happened. Definitely, and it's something. I feel like a lot of people were trying to divide before this situation happened, but I feel like it's been a lot of division ever since this happened. And not to say it's if anything, y'all want to be 100 with y'all. Anybody's fault. It definitely is the person in the wrong, and the person in the wrong is Carmelo. I have to definitely say that. Now everything that's happened after that, when it comes to Dominique Alexander, especially, as well as the parents, as y'all can see, the parents are in the middle. And what I find interesting about this picture is that I don't know what they're smiling about. I feel like this is something that is definitely sad, is sickening, just for the simple fact that, your son, this son that they say is so loving, and saved a life, and the captain of a football team, and, honor roll student, this, that, and the other, has unalived a 17-year-old kid. And I find it insane. I definitely find it insane, that they say here smiling. But then again, they had a press conference to where they were playing the victim. The dad didn't even say anything, which I find is completely insane. And having a mom go up there and speak and cry, the whole time playing victim. But then you had this picture here where they're smiling like everything is okay, which I'm telling y'all, from the looks of things, it's not. So you have here, which is very, like I said, is a very, very sad thing. You got, as verified with Nancy Grace, the family of Austin Metcalf has indeed been receiving threats and now have been swatted. It's either, I don't know how to pronounce it. It's either Megan or McGann Metcalf. Now, I do know of a McGann. That's why I said that, McGann or Megan. Metcalf was not home at the time the police arrived. Is it truly not enough that she has had to bury one of her twin sons? The swatting needs to end, so they continue to get and receive threats, as well as swatting, in their home. Says, as the defendant walks free, we learned that the family of Austin Metcalf is dealing with threats and swatting incidents. Metcalf's mother's home was targeted with false report claiming someone had been, shot in the mouth. She was not home when the police arrived. So it's completely getting insane, y'all. I'm telling y'all. And it's very, very sad, just for the simple fact that, like this post said, had to bury her son, but then have to deal with this too. Deal with nonsense, that people are. And then you got Carmelo's family that did that press conference and playing it, that they're the victims. And they're receiving threats, and they're receiving this, they're receiving that. Since y'all are trying to paint the picture of him being, in the past of, a great kid, an honor roll student, this, that, and the other. I look at it as, I know it definitely hurts to see your son act that way, but it's the truth, and wrong is wrong. You know what I mean? So I look at the simple fact of this. At the end of the day, Carmelo should have, and still today, they still can make him more of an example of what not to do, what not to do. Because I'm gonna tell y'all something, it'll looked way better if they would have went that route. Because now let me tell y'all something, it's looking like it's okay for other black kids to react and do it this way. And then not only that, of other kids, and young teenagers seeing this, it's adults that's being childish about this whole situation. We talking about this situation. We ain't gonna talk about the Shiloh situation and all of that. So people in my comments, don't start comparing and doing this. This is the situation we gonna talk about right now. When it comes to other kids, and maybe just not black, but since Carmelo being black, we gonna talk about that. I feel as if it's very nasty to see that he didn't raise this much money. He didn't raise as much money, and other kids looking at, oh, we can do that. We can get, they got advocates and they got this, they got that. I'm gonna tell y'all, again, this is something that I'm really beating myself up about because of the judge doing what she did. But if the judge is a really good judge, from what I'm seeing, not so much, lowering that bond all the way to $250,000, then she would make an example, of what not to do when it comes to his sentencing and when things come out. Because I really feel this is something that kids are looking at, and I guess they see that older adults are being childish, given that the remarks they're putting, the comments. They have to disable the comments on Give, Send, Go, but it's just so much that people need to pay attention to. And I'm glad there's people like myself that can get this out. I'm telling y'all, because this right here is absolutely insane. You obviously got they didn't raise over $500,000, and people think that's so. And then mind you, that it stopped. It stopped just for the simple fact. And this is me being real. It stopped just for the simple fact that it was more towards hate. It's not caring so much. Oh, y'all really, they really need this money. They need this money to do this. They need this money to do. It's not about that, bro. A lot of that just so those comments can be seen and for them to release their anger. Because at the end of the day, like I said in my last video, a lot of the people that donated, I don't care, black, brown, white, whatever, whoever donated and supporting Carmelo Anthony, a lot of those people are struggling right now. And not to knock anybody down, a lot of those people are struggling right now. And y'all then made somebody that unlocked another kid $500,000 richer. People need to think, bro. You gotta think, bro.
There are way too many people out there who look like me, who are rushing to defend Carmelo Anthony.
And I apologize. I meant to say his name. This is Dominique Felder. I try to catch myself.
Because he looks like them. But those same people, instead of being upset with Carmelo Anthony, are going to be upset with me for what I'm about to say. This was always what the radical BLM movement was going to eventually lead to. The most basic, reductive form of tribalism based on skin color alone. We can't even agree anymore on what is right and what is wrong. We've been reduced now to our most basic identifying characteristics. The correct way to process this would be to demand justice for the victim and make sure that punishments are handed out that fits the crime. It doesn't even matter if the victim was allegedly racist. That's not a reason or excuse to take someone's life away. He shouldn't even have had a knife on school grounds anyway. That's a felony in the state of Texas, am I right? But y'all like felons. That's why y'all made a hero out of George Floyd. Never mind. But now you've got Carmelo Anthony's family moving into a almost $1 million house, getting new cars, after they raised so much money with this legal defense fund, GoFundMe. And that's because people took up and donated for him because they saw no issue with what transpired. They saw no issue, apparently, with this loss of life. And it has to do all too often just because of the color of one person's skin. And it shouldn't be that way. And now the family says they need extra security too. Really? After what Carmelo did, you need more security. Because it seems like you have all the security you need right there under your nose. But I digress. Now, basically, what they're going to say to me is, they're going to say, oh, you are a sellout. You are an Uncle Tom. You are a coon. You are acting white. You're going to say.
The crazy thing is, I get that in my comments all the time. But guess what? People hate. People absolutely hate when it's the truth, regardless. Y'all seen my video yesterday when it had something to do with the Shiloh Hendrix, bro. Whatever I'm gonna say, bro. I'm gonna be real with y'all. I'm gonna say whatever I got to say. People can hate me. I always tell y'all that. I'm gonna probably get hate for this. I don't care, bro. Right is right, wrong is wrong, bro.
This and that, because apparently speaking out against degenerate behavior now means that I'm acting right, means that I'm some sort of sellout. This is the mentality that needs to stop. They're going to say, you're not invited to the cookout. You're not allowed to the cookout. So your idea of who should come to a cookout is someone whose idea of conflict resolution is jumping up and slashing with a knife?
Bro, anybody that say that, bro, I do not care, bro. I eat at home. I don't care about none of that, bro. Blackstone outside. We supposed to be getting this smoker. I need somebody to teach me how to smoke. If y'all know how to smoke, I eat a lot of chicken thighs. If y'all know how to do something like that, please let me know. They always talk about their cookouts. Like, I don't care about
Think so. I don't want to be at your cookout. That's all fine and good with me. But I'm so sick and tired of this mentality continuing. It's only going to stop when we have more people who are brave enough and bold enough to stand up and speak out for what is right, regardless of the blowback. And that's what I'm going to do. And so it doesn't matter if you call me a coon or Uncle Tom or a sellout. It doesn't matter. What matters is what is right and what is wrong. And this is wrong. And we should all be able to at least agree on that.
Exactly. We should all be able to agree on that. And that's why I said, more than anything, it needs to be more so to be set out for Carmelo as an example of what not to do, regardless of the color of your skin, bro. I don't care about none of that. That is something you do not do. Because let me tell y'all something. If this was, let me put it in perspective here. If Carmelo would have did this to another black kid, none of it, they wouldn't have raised. They wouldn't have. I guarantee they probably wouldn't even have raised $5,000, bro. They probably wouldn't even have raised the band. They probably wouldn't even raise the band. Y'all want to know why? Because it happens every day, bro. It happens every day, bro. That's the sad part about it. Let me tell y'all something. If this was let's say if this was a white person doing this to it'd be straight chaos in the streets. And I'm actually surprised. That it isn't as bad as it is, just judging by, the past of what has happened. But I don't see why. And that's the crazy thing about it. I know people probably checking, why would they? Same thing that's been happening, over the past years of seeing the destruction of how people could be, especially from the black communities, bro. Over the craziest things, bro. The craziest things, especially with being in the wrong. That's the thing, with being in the wrong. But I'm gonna tell y'all something. If this was somebody that definitely and Austin Metcalf was black, I guarantee, bro, they wouldn't have raised no type of money, bro. It happens all the time. Every time I look at my phone, Citizens app always pop up, and it always shows. It's the same thing every day, bro. It's the same thing every day. You get this black on black crime, but now black and the crazy thing is, what bothers me so much about the whole thing is that regardless of the situation, people can say that Austin Metcalf was the R word. And we all know, he wasn't. His friends even came out and said that he wasn't. That they tried to bully him, that he tried to do this. Regardless of the fact, bro, regardless of anything, that still did not give Carmelo the right to do what he did, bro. I don't care what anybody say. Now, for the people that's sitting there and defending Carmelo, you ought to be ashamed of yourself and you sick, bro. I don't care what anybody say. Jeff Metcalf keeps. So this is somebody that made this post. This is up under Dominique Alexander. Y'all can find Dominique Alexander on Facebook. It literally says Minister Dominique Alexander, so y'all can just type that into Facebook and y'all find him. But these are in the comments. This is Dominique Alexander saying Jeff Metcalf. Also, maybe I should show the world how you came to visit Dad's job. Days later, you are harassing this family while trying to play victim. Dude, you should stop. Meanwhile, it's the other way around. They didn't lost their son. Mind you, this father is grieving. They didn't lost their son. And they're constantly getting harassed by getting swatted. People at their homes, threats, this, that, and other. And they're saying basically that, Jeff had came up to Carmelo Anthony's dad's job. I don't know how clear that is. I haven't seen any type of videos. I haven't seen any type of pictures, anything like that. Then Jeff said, Dominique Alexander, why don't we just meet in person, have a civil conversation, just me and you man enough. Dominique responded, Jeff Metcalf, really? Wow, have a good day, sir. And then Jeff Metcalf responded, didn't think you could face me. Now, my thing with this whole thing is that it literally just goes to show you Dominique's character. It shows you Dominique's character regardless. I could see if he, and me personally, bro, if it was my son, with my anger, I probably would have did the same thing. I probably would have did the same thing. I'm not even gonna lie. Just for this, and I know y'all probably like, I don't know these, man. I probably you never know. You know what I mean? You never know. And I feel like it's more so of, I don't know, having that conversation. Like, you really think this is okay to do? You really? And I feel like Dominique is literally, first of all, he's one of those people that obviously wants fame. He don't care about this family, bro. I don't know why people think that he does. He doesn't care about this family. He doesn't care about another individual. Dominique cares about Dominique. That's why he has a rap sheet like he does. I mean, come on, bro. That's why he has a rap sheet like he does. All the things that he's done, he cares about himself. You can clearly see that he's trying to get his name out there, because when it's all said and done and Carmelo is in prison, guarantee Dominique ain't going to want nothing to do with him after that, or the family. People not understanding, bro. People got to wake up and realize what's going on. I'm telling y'all, it's absolutely insane. Once again, and this is from Purdy Salty. This is right here. I had this in my notes. This is pretty crazy what I read, but check it out here. If I can click on this picture, it won't even let me click on the picture. So you got Dominique Alexander here, basically saying that people are trying to shame him, but ended up showing my testimony. Basically showing that when he first stepped into activism, 2014, he didn't hide who he was, this, that, and the other. Yeah. So in the end of this, he says, which, caught my attention, keep posting my mugshot. And again, y'all can find all of this, Dominique Alexander, Minister Dominique Alexander, on Facebook. Y'all can see all the posts that this clown has been putting up. Says, you're just posting God's glory and facts never lie. Don't tell half, tell the whole story. Which people definitely showed the whole story. Said, I'm not here to argue. I'm not here for your approval. I'm here for every black boy they try to write off. I'm here to break systems. I'm here to make sure another black life isn't destroyed by hate. Let me tell y'all something. This isn't anybody destroying somebody by hate. Nobody destroyed anybody or anything except Carmelo. Carmelo did all of that. Carmelo destroyed his life. That affects his, I think he has a little sister, his mom and dad. The choice that he made, that's where it comes with the destruction. That's where it is. It's not from the people. The people just has a reaction to it, whoever you are. He made a choice, and people need to actually realize and see. Like, I'm telling y'all, bro, people got to realize what's going on, because this is insane. This is absolutely insane, bro. People need to wake up. Y'all, this dude right here, can't call him a clown. This dude right here literally says, I'm here for every black boy they try to write off. That boy made a choice, bro. He made a choice, and it was a horrible choice, and he messed up the rest of his life. A judge that literally, we never know, but seeing how they, put it down to 250,000, you never know what's going to happen. But let me tell y'all something. At the end of the day, God is the judge. People are missing that. At the end of the day, God is the judge. So what I found very interesting, what I want to show y'all, that I put in my notes, which again is honestly pretty wild about this whole thing, is that this right here. Carmelo Anthony's newly hired attorney, which is Kim T. Cole, is general counsel to the Next Generation Action Network Foundation. NGAN is a Black Lives Matter supporting 501c3 that's based on a full investigation. Has brought in six figures, yet has filed a total of only 2 IRS reports since 2014. According to federal law, 501c3s are required to file annual returns of their income expenses with the IRS. Records also show that the organization received a grant from another called Good Work Dallas with the same registered address, which indicate alleged money laundering. So with this whole thing, when I say that Dominique Alexander, the whole team that they have within this Next Generation Action Network, it's all within that. They don't care about Carmelo Anthony. This is something that happened, obviously with a black boy and a white boy, both, and they're trying to cause, obviously, division, because that's all what Dominique Alexander is about, as well as this Next Generation Action Network Foundation. As y'all can see from his rap sheet, from the videos I've seen, that's all what this is based off of. This is not caring for an individual, because let me tell y'all something. If this was caring for an individual, they'll be doing this for other kids that's around, that they call self-defense. Just not black. Bro, I'm telling y'all, bro. Shit is insane, bro. And I'm sorry for cussing, but this is insane, bro. This is from Sarah Fields. Everything she says is fire. As Sarah Fields says, this is Uncle Tom Coco on TikTok. Y'all can find her, but check out what she says, y'all.
From that, I need a little bit of it, because he says, well, reducing the bond, putting him on house arrest with an ankle monitor, that is going to help reduce the temperature around the situation. So in other words, what he's saying is, if you let him out and put him on house arrest and give him a lower bond, it's going to make the black people who are defending him happy. That's basically what he was saying. Then he goes on talking about self-defense. So I'm assuming they're going to claim self-defense. I don't understand why we're treating this little monster like he's the victim. Like, you have a whole family here who lost their child, their brother, their friends. Like, why are we caring about whether his parents can afford to get him out or not? So the prosecution did cross-examine, and they mentioned an altercation on February the 4th at school. Now, I'm not sure if they didn't go into detail about it or the news article that I read didn't go into detail, but there was an altercation. And in American justice fashion,
I feel like in the long run, when it's all said and done, when this trial happens, I feel like there's so much that we don't know, and so much that's going to come out, especially within Carmelo, because I've been seeing so many things that's been coming out about Carmelo, and it's like everything that they're trying to do, everything, like it's so many things that they're trying to keep quiet. It's so many things that they're trying to keep quiet. And I feel like the things that's going to come out, I feel like it's not going to shock us, but it's just going to be like one of those things, I told you so, towards the Carmelo Anthony supporters.
Judge lowered the bond and put the little monster on house arrest. Just total disregard for a family who lost their child and their brother. What is this world coming to? I'm telling you, if you are not rooted and grounded in the word of God, the darkness in this world will overtake you.
I'm telling y'all, those words from Uncle Tom Coco. Can't play the rest of what she said because you can't say certain things on YouTube. So I have to pause that video, but y'all can find that video, Sarah Fields, or y'all can go on TikTok, Uncle Tom Coco. But definitely, everything she did say is definitely right, and I totally agree. And I feel like a lot of people agree of what she's saying, definitely. But y'all have another post from Sarah Fields. One thing about it, bro, I'm not even gonna lie, is the simple, and ladies, I'll be saying bro a lot, I apologize, that when it comes down to it, Sarah Fields is on it. I just recently found also, where is this at so I can show y'all, Purdy Salty. I've seen different posts within that as well. Great post. But Sarah Fields posted, the church that Austin Metcalf and his brother attended, and I apologize if I'm saying the name wrong. I know people in the comments are saying that I'm saying the name wrong. Austin Metcalf and his brother attended, has had to move student services such as youth group meetings to online only services due to threats received. This is where the memorial service were held. So this is the post. It reads, and y'all can find this. I don't know. It says Pastor Will Perry and the Hope Students team. But I'm going to read all this. It says, dear parents, the last week has been very difficult week for all of us. From the vigil last week at Frisco East to the Navigating Trauma seminar last night. everything else in between. We have all been grieving, praying, and working to love each other and our hurting communities following Austin Metcalf's death. It's been a heavy and challenging week for all of you and your students. This tragedy has hit national and international news. You can't scroll social media without hearing somebody talk about it. It's something that can be stressful and scary. It says here, tensions are high in our community. There are some people who are using this situation to stoke fear and chaos. We were made aware of some concerning social media posts, and out of an abundance of caution, we made the decision to move all student services online. Join us to, our Hope Students YouTube channel at 7 p.m. tonight. Which is absolutely sad, that they even have to do that, because of the threats and stuff. It says, because we love you and are committed to serving you well and keeping your family safe, we feel that is the best decision. We are encouraging students to gather together as family, friends, and as a small group to worship together. It says, I don't know where this is hitting you as a family, but what I do know is that our hope is always in Christ. We believe that he is in control, which I definitely do believe that he's in control of this whole situation and everything else. Literally says, Proverbs 19:31 says, many are the plans in the mind of a man, but it is the purpose of the Lord that will stand. I actually love that. That was my first time hearing that. I actually have my girl had bought me this little jar. I think she got it off TikTok. This little jar, and it has like the Bible verses in it, and I read them every day. Honestly. It's a whole like process that I do every day when I get up and when I go to sleep and stuff like that. But anyways, that's a nice verse. Even though we are together through our screen, I believe that God's presence is with us. His purpose will be done. I'm excited about the service we have for your families. Lastly, I'm always here to serve your family. So if you have questions or concerns, please let me know. Always remember, you can do this. You are not alone. God is with you, and so are we. Pastor Will Perry and the Hope Students team. Watch live at 7 p.m. So this is pretty sad. I'm not even going to lie that they even have to do that. We're talking about ministry. So I don't know. I definitely feel that this is something that people need to think about, bro. Like that's sad, bro. You can't even go somewhere and actually grieve and like be there for loved ones, friends, family without the craziness, of Carmelo Anthony's supporters, bro. Like what? And it probably is not all. It's probably not all sitting, but it's a lot that are. And that's pretty sad. Make sure y'all hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Let me know y'all comments and thoughts down below. Definitely appreciate y'all. I'm sorry for talking so much tonight. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about it. I'm trying to get to y'all comments and stuff like that. We do have our 1-year-old's doctor's appointment today, literally at 3 o'clock. So I do appreciate y'all. If I don't get to y'all comments, I definitely apologize. I try to get to a lot of people's comments, but within the last few days, it has been a lot of comments. But I try to do what I can. I definitely do. Much love, everybody. Thank y'all for so much. Love y'all. Catch y'all next one.